An April Revolution of 1955, also known as April Wars, Revolution of 55, or just April Revolution, was one of the most important facts in the recent history of the Dominican Republic. The conflict began when a group of officials in the Dominican Army, civils, students associations, even women and police, they have decided return the government of the ex-president Juan Bosch. It was overthrown in 1963, and it was the first democratically government chosen at the polls after the murder of the dictator Rafael Leonidas Trujillo. The overthrow was done by part of the Dominican Army the early morning of September 25th in 1963. It was stimulated and supported from abroad, and it was led by the General Elias Wessing. As a result of the conflict, it produced the second United States invasion through the Dominican Republic with the excuse or protest that preventing the establishment of another communist government in the western part of the hemisphere or America. After the murder of the dictator Rafael Trujillo in 1963, where Simon, the first democratically election through the Dominican Republic, being elected Juan Bosch. His short period of government reflected democratically and sovereignty, which went against the idealisms of Trujillistas and Blackistas group that those remained in the Dominican Republic, and it got started a movement to get the overthrow. The principal reason or the principal fact that provoked the civil war was the fight for returning the democracy and sovereignty that offered the government of Juan Bosch. The Dominican people was searching for a country that was respected by its politician leader. So they have decided took the street in search of returning his mandate.
Curious facts about this Dominican Civil War. The revolution April 1965 was characterized by the active participation of the militaries, and principal object was implement a constitution in our country. These confrontations was led by Colonel Francisco Camaño Dañón, who reestablished the constitution and provoked the inter-American military interventions. One characteristic of the revolution was located and concentrated in the city of Santo Domingo.
As you know, this war lasted for around 5 months and brought with it a series of consequences that affected the country during that period of time and several years later. Many people were victims of this battle, between injuries that left several Dominicans disabled to people who directly lost their lives during the crossfire. These were difficult times for the Dominican population. Homes, buildings, and properties were severely damaged, leaving immense cuts in the Dominican economy. All to finally hold democratic elections in which millions of Dominicans participated. Without a doubt, the Dominican Civil War was one of the most important events that happened in the Dominican Republic, like we said before.